Could Southeast Michigan finally get a good snowstorm? Well, I hope to answer that question in today's video. On your screen here is actually the accumulated snowfall so far for this season. You can see down here, especially in Lenawee, Monroe, and perhaps Hillsdale County, is in a snow hole here toward Toledo, Ohio, only getting a few inches, 4 to 8 inches of snow this year in total so far, whereas lake effect belts across West Michigan, northern lower, as well as the UP are in almost record-setting snowfall for this year. But we have a system coming in for Wednesday that may change the dynamic of Southeast Michigan's winter. I'm going to highlight that word may change, not will change, may change. We have growing confidence in a system that is moving in for the Wednesday time period. We have all three major models here agreeing on some impacts here. We're going to go over all the new data here. Let's go ahead and dive right on in. So if you've been following us on Facebook or caught yesterday's video, we are tracking a system moving in for later in the day on Wednesday into your Thursday time frame. So we're about 2 or 3 days away from it now. Let's go ahead and look at the model. So this is a European model. We're going to use the European, the American, also known as the GFS model, and the Canadian, also known as the GEM or the GDPS. This is going to be your precip type. So obviously blue is snow, pink is freezing rain or sleet, and then green is just plain rain. So here's our system today here on Sunday, moving out into Canada. We're going to be drier today. Lake effect snow for the UP could accumulate an inch or two, perhaps 3 in spots. Not going to be a big deal. Typical lake effect snow showers up there. Going to the day on Monday, we have a system that's going to form, not the main one, but a first system will develop here, which could bring some lighter snowflakes across the state as early as Tuesday morning. That won't accumulate much at all. The big system is behind this. Notice the system develops off toward the Ohio River. This is, again, Tuesday, not the main system. Our attention shifts right about this time frame here. Wednesday morning, we have a system that is already underway to our south and west across Kansas, Missouri, Iowa area that is going to push up our direction. This is the one to watch. As we move into the day on Wednesday into the evening, the European model says we begin getting snow roughly around that 4 or 5 p.m. time frame Wednesday. We're still a few days out from that, so it's a general idea. So we're going to say Wednesday afternoon/evening for a begin time for this system. It takes a very favorable track here for heavier snow for parts of Michigan. The darker blue equals heavier snow there. This is later in the day on Wednesday, about 10, 11 p.m. We'll go overnight into Thursday morning. That takes a very favorable track, dumping snow across much of Michigan here as it departs into the northeast/Canada. The GFS model has a very similar picture. Go ahead and run this through the time frame. Starting with today, we're looking at that system going off into Canada. We're going to be drier today. Lake effect snow showers today for the UP. There's your system for Tuesday. The GFS keeps us a tad bit drier on Tuesday versus the European model. That system still passes off to our south toward the Ohio River. And then there comes that system to the southwest Wednesday morning here. And that will start to snow roughly around that later evening Wednesday time frame. And again, the heavier snow track, again, centered over south and east Michigan, and that goes off into Canada while we get towards sunrise on Thursday, leaving us with some drier conditions. The Canadian model is pretty much a very similar picture going into the day today. Some later snow showers there. We're going to dry out for Monday. Here comes that system for Tuesday. Some very light snow showers there possible. System passes off to our south. And then here comes the big one for Wednesday and Thursday, taking a very similar track to the European and the GFS model, giving us a good dumping of heavy snow for portions of Michigan as that low pressure system departs off into the northeast and Canada come Thursday evening. So the general consensus is and has been a winter storm is incoming for parts of Michigan. Now, what is not certain is the exact track, the exact amounts, as we are still a few days away. Shifting north or south is still possible, so we very well could shift into a freezing rain zone, for example, or we could shift further south and miss out on the heavier snow. But the general idea of a winter system moving through Michigan is growing here, but we're still a few days out, so take it with a grain of salt. We have a couple things to share with you guys today. Number one, our winter timeline. I've highlighted this the past 2 videos. We'll highlight it again. Today's Sunday, so we have Monday, we have Tuesday, and we have Wednesday to go. So we're getting close to that 3-day time frame, but we're kind of borderline between 3 and 4 days right now. We're not going to get too specific just yet. By tomorrow, like I said yesterday, by Monday's video, we'll have a much better idea of what to expect. But by tomorrow's video, we should be locking down specifics, including idea for amounts, locations, and timing, and all that. All those details will likely start tomorrow. So do come back for tomorrow's video. I think we're going to be talking about some good accumulations here for parts of Michigan. If you're asking yourself, well, how much snow can we expect in general for the heaviest swath wherever it sets up? This system looks to be a 6+ type of event for the heaviest swath. So I'll just leave it at that. Where it sets up could set off to our south. It could be in Michigan. I don't know yet. But it does look like it could be a 6+ inch event for the heaviest of snow. So tomorrow we'll have much better details. We're going to keep the panic meter today at worth mentioning, but I will update this tonight given the morning models that are still coming out here, the afternoon, the evening models. If growing confidence does exist, we'll go ahead and put out the bread and milk watch by later tonight. So keep it tuned to our Facebook page for that. Again, update for you guys tomorrow coming on this system. So last thing I'll show you is the initial thoughts. Given everything that we looked at with the models today, the initial thinking with this system is a good swath of what we're going to call moderate snowfall will take place across much of south and east lower Michigan. Further north you get, the lighter it becomes. The further south you get, you could get in a mix of some snow and freezing rain, perhaps some sleet as well. But again, shifting is still possible. This is just what we're seeing based currently on the models, all kind of put together and get a good depiction of what could happen based on various data points. So that is what we're kind of thinking now. In terms of amounts, we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. But overall, the system may break the southeast Michigan snow hole finally this winter. Cross your fingers and hope that this doesn't trend down. One thing I will mention to finish up the video here is with this system doesn't really have two phases. So what I mean by that is previously this year, Southeast Michigan has kind of missed out on systems because of the way they phase together. There's like a north part, a south part that kind of meets together afterwards. We're not seeing that with the system. This system is a one-parter, and it looks to be cold enough on the north side for snow. So it's just a matter of determining the exact track. So I do think there's a little bit higher confidence that we will see impacts here in Michigan. But again, we're not going to lock that in just yet. Let's wait till tomorrow at the very earliest to lock a forecast in. Going into the long term very quickly here, take this off the screen, go ahead and go back to the model here. I will point out that the future of Michigan weather here remains quite active. We are in a very active pattern here. The map on your screen here is what we call a Heights anomaly. Basically measures the pressure in the atmosphere. The blue colors indicate an active pattern or a lower pressure. And then the yellows and reds is more of a higher pressure or a less active pattern. If we go ahead and loop this from now into the end of February into March, keep an eye on that blue color and keep an eye on its location to Michigan, or this is the general eastern half of the U.S. here. We stay in that blue color for pretty much all of February. This is now into the first week of March at this map now. Going into the middle half of March, we just remain very, very active here. So whether we're going to get snow or rain is yet to be seen based off temperatures, but the active pattern that we're in will continue with probably a system or two every single week throughout the month of February, perhaps into the start of the first half of March as well. So keep that in mind. We're going to be very active, very wet over the next several weeks here in the Great Lakes region. I am Ryan. This is Michigan Storm Chasers. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for a full, hopefully, a full update on our midweek system. And also want to give you a teaser. We are watching another system for the weekend that looks to be just as strong, currently just as strong as this midweek system. So potentially two to watch. We'll cover it all tomorrow. Stay tuned. You guys have a great Sunday. And by the way, go Eagles. I don't want the Chiefs to three-peat on the Super Bowl tonight. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.